You were listening to a Nerd Room podcast, a member of the Star Wars Commonwealth Podcast Network. Be sure to check out more from the Star Wars Commonwealth on the web at starwarscommonwealth.com and take your first steps into a larger world. Hey everyone, and welcome to the Nerd Room, where we talk all things comics and movies. This is episode number 86. We'll be discussing Force Friday 2. I'm one of your hosts, Tim.
I'm Troy.
And we're missing Sanjay. I promised that we'd have the whole crew at the table. And Sanjay unfortunately had to skip out last minute here. He had some other prior commitments and couldn't quite make it. But you've got Troy and myself here. I'm back.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming back.
I've been gone for like a month. I haven't podcasted in a month, and it's been absolutely killing me. I've been looking so forward to sitting down here and talking some Star Wars because I just haven't done it for so long. I've been listening to you guys holding down the fort for the past couple of weeks. Yeah. Sanjay went solo for a week, and you guys lit it up last week, so I appreciate you holding it down. But I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to be back talking Star Wars.
Yes, well, glad you made it back, man.
Yeah, well, great. I haven't seen you since you got married.
Yeah.
So, again, congratulations.
Thank you.
The honeymoon looked like it was not only successful from a honeymooning perspective, you guys look like you had a blast, but you also made some pretty big headway into some collecting, some Legends, some Star Wars. You even picked me up the Target exclusive 3-pack.
There we go.
So we've got the Death Trooper Jin and Cassian in there. And you grabbed me a sweet comic, Avengers issue number 167. So this guy goes away on a honeymoon, and he's bringing me back gifts from the States. What a dude.
Yeah, no problem. It's great, man. The States has a lot of good pickups over there. You know, EB Games is cool, a comic book shop, Target, even Walmart out there. So, you know, I got a lot of good things out there. But, man, it's good to be back here in the original studio here recording. And, let's rock it, man. Star Wars.
Let's do it. Before we get into some Star Wars talk, I got a little question to kick it off here. Our dude, Rob Cass, from over at the Roman Podcast, he also hosts a TSW Roundtable.
Yeah, what up, Rob?
Fire me a quick question here, and we're going to keep it light here. I'm going to start this podcast by being super awkward, just to kind of roll into a Star Wars talk here. Firstly, he wanted to know, now that you are a married man, Troy, is it time to change your name from Troy the Boy 87 to Troy the Man 87?
Ooh, that's a good question. You know, I really do like that call out. I saw that a little while ago on Twitter. I thought that was a pretty cool idea.
Yeah.
Troy the Man. But you know, I like the flow of Troy the Boy.
Yeah.
So I might stick with Troy the Boy 87 for a little bit longer.
It's got a good ring to it.
It has a good ring to it. It has a little good ring to it, right? But I do really like that idea.
Yeah. And secondly, he wants to know here, this is the awkward part. You remember a few episodes back, Sanjay imparted some advice. I went one path, and Sanjay went more of a particular path, more of an intimate path.
Yeah.
And Rob wants to know is did you take Sanjay's advice? Did you call him on your wedding night?
No, I stayed far away from my phone.
My man, that's the way to do it. All right, thanks, Rob, for the Rob. Early laughs here. And make sure you go check him out on his 2 podcasts there. Great stuff,
Always good times on those podcasts, for
Definitely.
Sure.
All right, man, well, as we sat down to record here tonight, or just prior to that, you had texted me, and we weren't going to talk about episode 9 tonight. We're going to do all Force Friday and episode 8. But there's some humongous news that literally just dropped an hour or so ago. And that is Colin Trevorrow, the director of Star Wars Episode 9, has chosen to step away from the project. And this is interesting because you go back a couple episodes in a couple weeks and we talked about the controversy around, is Colin Trevorrow ready to direct Episode 9, the final installment of this first brand new trilogy? His writing partner and himself were called into question for their recent movie, The Book of Henry. And, well, we've kind of gone down this path already a few times with Star Wars, with Lucasfilm. They issued a statement here stating that they've mutually chosen to part ways, and essentially it boils down to creative differences. That Episode 9 is going one way with Lucasfilm, and Trevorrow is going a different way. Now, this is the earliest in a project that we've seen Lucasfilm take action or the director leave or depart the project because of creative differences. But this is really the third time.
Yeah, because they weren't started much on the Josh Trank.
Yeah, the Josh Trank stuff. He got punted really early on.
Yeah.
We've got Trevorrow, who's quite invested at this point, maybe a year or so into writing.
Yeah.
They brought this other guy on to kind of touch it up. So that was kind of the first insight we got that maybe not all is well within that episode 9 camp.
Yeah.
And then we've got the news from Han Solo that we had those two directors, Lord Miller, depart.
Yeah.
So there is a bit of chaos, or maybe chaos is the wrong word, but a little bit of discord within the creative development of Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the departure of Colin Trevorrow from this film?
Excited.
Yeah.
I gotta say I'm excited. You know, I'm one of the minorities here. I didn't really care too much for Jurassic World, and I never got the vision of what he portrayed in that film for Lucas film to go out there and have this guy helm episode 9. I never really understood that idea, and I'm really glad that they pulled the plug this early, and they're gonna go somewhere else to exceed in that vision of episode 9.
Yeah.
So this is great. I like this. This is a lot earlier, and I think it's a lot different too from the Lord and Miller
Yes.
situation, because that was more of like a hijacking. I feel like they were both on the same page at first, and then I felt like as the movie developed, Lord and Miller was going somewhere else that they didn't all bargain for.
Yes.
Whereas I feel like this is just the visions just weren't lining up with what they want to do. Don't necessarily think it's too much to blame on the Book of Henry. I mean, obviously, nobody wants to see one of their directors' movies bomb, but I don't think that's too much in play with what decisions happened in this film. So
No, I think it's purely creative. And
Definitely.
I think it got to the point where Colin Trevorrow maybe was looking down at what this movie was going to be, and it started to deviate from the path he was taking it on. He just said early on, look, guys, I'm out. I can't do this. And you know, as this all progresses, these creative differences, what I'm starting to see is that Lucasfilm had set themselves down what I would consider a Marvel model.
For sure.
Where they're grabbing younger, up-and-coming director-writer combos that had something to prove and putting them on these massive projects. But right now, Star Wars is still at a point where they're still trying to constrain this. I don't know if we can spin off into some crazy Guardians-esque movie in this universe quite yet.
Right.
We're still running down a slightly more prescribed universe.
for the saga films, at least.
Yeah,
right?
for the saga films,
Yeah.
yes. And where you look at Marvel, they have a bit more freedom, I think, because the characters are a bit more colorful. They're comic book characters, and we're not trying to fit into this universe that they've spent a lot of time crafting. So I agree. I think I feel for Colin Trevorrow. That's a huge
course.
movie to not so much lose, but a project to step back from. Like
Right.
that's a life-altering decision. Like you look at what this is. This is a Star Wars episode 9.
Right.
And to step away from that, I give him a lot of credit for doing that, for recognizing this early on that this isn't the way that he wants to make this movie, and that going forward, he doesn't want to end up in a situation like Lord and Miller where they bring in someone else.
Right.
So I think that going forward, Lucasfilm, we're going to see them going back to people that are very close to Star Wars. Your J.J. Abrams types, your Ron Howard types.
Right.
Someone that's a proven director that can execute what a studio wants, what a studio would like to see, and go from there.
Well, going off of that, do you have any predictions, any ideas, any directors in mind that you think?
To be honest with you, I really don't know.
Not sure yet,
Like
no.
I haven't put enough thought into this.
It's
as
so
to
fresh.
Who do you want to see do this? Like, do you want to go back to someone that's already directed a Star Wars film, like I don't know, do you bring back Rian Johnson? Do you bring back J.J. Abrams or something like that?
Yeah.
It needs to be someone that's comfortable in this universe, I
Right.
think. Because this is a huge movie to execute.
It's the finale.
It's a
in a
finale
sense, yeah.
of this trilogy,
Yeah.
and it's also going to be potentially the final chapter of Princess Leia, if that's not done in episode 8. So that's
right.
a huge piece that they need to work into this.
That's right. And that's why, more the better for me, I feel Rian Johnson. I feel Rian Johnson's the guy to go with it. I know episode 8 obviously isn't out yet, but I feel like episode 7 was cool, and I love episode 7. Still one of my favorites out there, but I feel like Rian Johnson's kind of been correcting things a little bit from what J.J. Abrams wanted to do, and I feel like Rian Johnson might have a better grasp on these characters, even though J.J. Abrams essentially introduced us as an audience to these characters. I feel like Rian Johnson could be the one to really grasp them, and he's going to be fresh with these characters too. Another ballsy one would be cool is Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. It'd be ballsy, but I think in this case, you need to really kind of have something a little more concrete and somebody that has a background in actually directing actors and actresses.
Yeah.
So
What's curious, because like at this stage, I really see them using Rian Johnson as the one to shepherd this film franchise into something different.
right.
And this is very clear from the trailers we've got, from even just the posters. Like, it looks like a different movie.
It really does.
Than what we've gotten before. And maybe he is the one to take it into episode 9 and wrap this trilogy up. Like, I'm assuming it's going to spin out into something else eventually. But to have somewhat of a more contained trilogy telling the story of Rey and Kylo Ren, maybe this is the right guy to do that. Maybe he's the one, like you said, that has a grasp on these characters. He knows where the story is going.
Yeah.
And so he can execute that.
Yeah.
So this is a wait and see. I'm cautiously optimistic on all this. I don't think it's time to, like I said before, start hitting the panic button, ringing the bells. The world's not over. The sky's not falling.
Yes.
Star Wars is just fine. Lucasfilm has proven themselves time and time again to be extremely capable filmmakers.
Yeah.
And Kathleen Kennedy and the crew over there are taking great care of this franchise. And I have nothing but absolute confidence that they are making the right decisions over there.
For sure. Definitely.
And speaking of the right decisions, we've got episode 8 coming down. We are in the final countdown here. As we sit and record, we've got 100 days until The Last Jedi.
Awesome.
When this episode drops, we will be in double digits. So we're getting close, man. It is happening. It is coming. We're going to be seeing notices for tickets going on sale within the next couple of months. And we hit our first big milestone outside of the countdown, and that's Force Friday 2. This is something that you and I anticipate every single year. It's become an event for us, less of a attendance event and more of a spiritual kind of hunting event where we go out there and we look for the action figures, for the toys, for everything that you and I love to collect. And this is a big day for it. How are you feeling this Force Friday? We've had a few different experiences in the past. We did one midnight. Last year was a bust because no 6-inch Black Series were shipped to Toys R Us. This year we didn't go. I was out of town. What were you doing on Force Friday?
I was laying back, chilling out, cool. You know, I was good because I already had most of the wave.
Yes.
Shout out to Sanjay. Crazy story going on there. So I think it was a while back, last week or so. Well, before Force Friday, obviously. So
it was the Sunday before Force Friday.
It was the Sunday. Okay, so I think it was, so it was the Sunday. You and I were going back and forth on Twitter, and I shout out Sanjay, but like, hey man, do you want to go to Force Friday with me? Let's do it. And I think he kind of misinterpreted what I said. And he's like, oh, sorry man, I can't make it. I've been sick all Friday. And then you and I both instantly were like, no, dude, it's next Friday. You got to be there kind of thing. And then he responds later on with like, oh, hey, do you want these figures?
Yeah, this is like minutes later. And I'm thinking to myself when I saw him, because it was Vader, Thrawn, and I can't Rey or Hera or someone. And I'm like, okay, good joke. I thought he yanked it off of some website and was just screwing with us.
Yeah.
And then I texted, like I actually went and texted him. I was in the airport. I'm going through security, the U.S. security, and I'm pounding away on my phone.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm trying to call you. I'm like, dude, like this is happening right now. And so I actually called him and I'm like, are you serious? Like he's like, yeah, I'm looking at like a huge display in Walmart. He's like, there's all the 6-inch guy, like they're all here. Yeah. The 3 3/4 inch are here. And I'm like, grab everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, just grab it all.
Everything, for sure.
And he managed to pick us up both of what I'm assuming is the only 2 cases that shipped to that Walmart.
Yeah.
They must have literally put them out as he walked into the store.
For sure. That luck of his, eh?
Yeah.
Crazy.
So that alleviated a lot of anxiety from both you and I. I'm the same way. Like I was so concerned because I wasn't going to be here until Friday evening, which puts me 12 or 24 hours out from actually the figures and everything dropping.
Yeah.
And really didn't bother me. I was like, I can get the 3 3/4, everything else I'll go out on Saturday and do because I had the whole wave. I had the Luke, the Rey, the Thrawn, the Hera, the Kylo, everyone.
Yeah, man.
So that's good. That was one of the things about this Force Friday is that anxiety, we didn't have that.
Yeah.
We didn't
like
experience
VIP,
that.
eh?
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Because you see on Twitter or on the internet all the time, people finding these figures all over the States a week or two.
Yeah.
And for that to actually happen to us, I was like, wow.
This is huge.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to end up in some sort of karmic way hitting us at the end of the day. It's like, you're never going to find something. It's like, oh my God. Because we've had fairly good luck.
Pretty good, apart from the Qui-Gon and Lando.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that wave.
Yeah, I don't know if they even exist. This is crazy. But apart from those 2 figures, everything else has been good.
Yeah.
And then what else were your pickups? Because for me, I only collected the 6-inch scale Black Series. I don't bother with anything else, so I'm good to go now until the next wave.
Wave 2,
Yeah. What'd you grab, man?
Well, so when I came back from this 3-week absentee I had 2 weeks of work down in the States and all this, so I did a little bit of hunting down there, not really much luck. But I did spend a good chunk of this past weekend out on the hunt. I wanted to go to every little store, whether it's comic book shops or Walmart, wherever, and just see the presence of Star Wars, of The Last Jedi everywhere. Because I collect the 6-inch Black Series, but I'm also chasing 3 3/4 inch, the 5 POA, Legos, Funko, and the Disney Store Elite. And I tried to take a bit more of a conservative approach to my Force Friday, to my purchasing, because in the past couple of years, like Force Friday 1, I went nuts. I bought everything, all the Elite Series, all the 5 PO,
Legos,
everything, all at once, like hundreds of dollars out the window. And this time I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to use all of the knowledge that we've gained over the last couple of years and kind of some of the rules that we've put together. There's nothing over $35. Let's wait and see for discounts on the Elite Series. So I tried to put most of that into effect and develop more of a strategy coming into this. So we're looking over here. I do have the full 6-inch Black Series, but the first place I did go was Toys R Us. I wanted to see if I could get the 3 3/4 inch, because that's the next big line. And in the past, because of Rogue One and the Force Awakens, I really got into the 5 POA again. I've said this numerous times. The card art really drew me in, and so the price point's good, $9, so that's fine. Go into Toys R Us. There's no 6-inch Black Series, with the exception of the Vader and the Stormtrooper.
Right.
They're peg warming for the rest of the year.
For sure.
But I walk in there, and the 3 3/4 inch are essentially gone. All that's swinging is C-3PO, 1 page, and 1 rose.
Is he full gold?
Yeah, he's full gold. He doesn't, just because of the production costs, he doesn't have the shininess to him, so he's kind of got this dull bronze to him.
Crazy.
But so they're the only ones swinging from the pegs.
Yeah.
And I was really surprised to not see more than 3 3/4 inch out there, because Force Friday 1, Rogue Friday, they were easy to get.
Right.
So people seemingly are leaning a bit more, at least from my perspective, leaning a bit more towards this 5 POA line again.
Right. Cool.
People wanted these highly articulated, but they don't want them at $15 a figure, which you get with the Walmart exclusives, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So Toys R Us probably, at least from my perspective, was the most well set up. They seem to have at least the most product and the most visually aware setup. Like, it was right at the front of the store, big banners. They had those Force augmented reality things set up. They had all the Lego. They had some Funkos. They had what was left of the waves. People had kind of picked over them at this point. They had a lot of the role play. They kind of had everything. And I was quite impressed with their setup. Like, with the exception of what was sold out, everything seemed to have shipped there.
Okay.
Which was nice to see. Yep. And that's a kind of a big exception, because everywhere else I went, it looks like it was sporadically received, the shipping. There wasn't stuff hanging from the pegs. It wasn't the big displays that we've seen in the past. The presence of The Last Jedi is much more dampened than even, I think, Rogue One.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's a couple shelves out there that look like graveyards.
Yeah. So I didn't have much success at Toys R Us, but I liked what I was seeing. I'm confident that we're going to see those shelves continually to be stocked. But the one thing that we are kind of missing from Toys R Us, on this side at least, there is an exclusive 6-inch Admiral Akbar and First Order Officer 2-pack.
Oh.
So we haven't seen that one yet.
What's the retail at?
It's $39.99 US, so it's probably going to be $59.99 or $69.99 Canadian.
Yeah.
So again, that's going to be a wait for a discount.
For sure. It's a trap.
It is a trap. And the other one that is interesting that I think may show up at Toys R Us at some point is the 6-inch Executioner Stormtrooper. So we've seen some images. They have like the black arm.
And the black line above the eye.
Yeah.
That looks so cool.
Yeah, there's an Elite series of those.
Yeah.
So there is a Target exclusive 6-inch for that character, that figure. But we have seen the Target exclusive ship into Toys R Us in Canada.
Okay.
So the AT-ACT driver was a Target exclusive in the States, and that's the one that's swinging from the pegs up here for $35-$36.
Right. And going back to the Force Awakens, Starkiller Base was also a Target exclusive, I think, right?
Yeah. And
came to EB Games.
Yeah, it came up to EB Games.
Yeah.
So we do see those Target exclusives sometimes make their way up into Canada.
Yeah.
So don't go paying, at least if you're in Canada, I wouldn't go paying top dollar for that Executioner Stormtrooper. That's going to be swinging from the pegs. Like, if you go down to Target down there, that's fine. But wait for it to maybe come up here.
For sure.
I think Toys R Us is going to be the place to be getting these figures, at least until Walmart really picks up their game.
Which is weird, because last year was reverse. Remember, Toys R Us dropped the ball, and it was the Walmarts that held it down with all the Rogue One stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, because you walk into Walmart, and you'd swear there wasn't a Star Wars movie coming.
Yeah.
I do not know what they're doing.
Right, it's dead.
They clearly didn't get a shipment. I went to 3 Walmarts in the city this week, and all in the kind of the southwest region here. And not only did they not have any stock, they didn't even have like an end cap, or they didn't shift the Star Wars section up to the front. It was literally at the back of every aisle.
Yeah, it's cleared out. It's different because they kind of rearranged all their stuff. At least a couple
Yeah.
of Walmarts that I've been to with the Marvel Legends and everything's been shifted around, and it's just dead. I think I just see the 3 3/4 stuff. All of the old Force Awakens and Rogue One lines have been pulled. Like
Yeah.
they're just gone.
Yeah.
So it's brutal looking. Yeah.
And the reason I don't think they got anything shipped is all the pegs are there with all the price tags.
Yes.
But there's nothing on them.
Nothing on them. Yeah.
And that there would have to be lingering things in a way.
For sure, like the Troopers or the Vader or something.
Yeah, there wouldn't be just all cleared out. There's no way that's happened.
No, definitely not.
So Walmart's an interesting place right now because last year, you're right. Like if you remember, if you go back to our Rogue One storytelling episode, I walked into a Walmart with staff before it opened.
Right.
And grabbed all of the 3 3/4 inch and waited till the store opened. Crazy, I know. But I did that.
Go back to that episode.
But one thing with Walmart that was interesting is sometimes if you go around to the video game movie section, they do have a Star Wars action figure display.
Yeah, that's right.
And in one of the Walmarts I went to, they did have this. It was probably 3.5 feet tall and 2 feet wide, tucked off in a corner. No real fanfare or signage around it. And I walked right up to it. Most of the 6-inch were there. With
Like the Ahsoka and the Kanan, is this when they brought them back?
Yeah, similar to that. Right. Exactly, like a standalone thing. But this is the Last Jedi stand.
Oh, okay.
And so I did manage to get 4 of the first wave for the 3 3/4 inch. I got Rey, who else I got there? Kylo, and I'm just missing Old Man Luke.
That's the one.
Or the Master Jedi. That is the prize, at least, or one of the prizes from this Force Friday too, is the 3 3/4 inch Jedi Master Luke. That's the one I'm missing.
Yeah, okay.
And so I was able to grab a few. That's the only place I saw 3 3/4 inch of these more difficult to find figures at the moment.
Right.
But my overall recommendation for those, I'm going to get them, but do not go to eBay or Scalpers.
No,
if these are going to ship your Jedi Master Luke, don't get caught up in the hype. You're going to be able to find them.
Yeah.
I promise you guys that at some point down the road, these will be on the pegs. I have no doubt about that. The 6-inch figures, maybe a little less. I think this is going to be very similar. You remember when that wave came out with Old Man Han and all that, and we freaked out?
Yes.
And we bought them right away, and then they've been on the shelves forever. Forever.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, I think this wave's maybe
might walk that path.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
I think the Thrawn and Hera are always going to be difficult to find, but the Luke and Rey, I'm fully confident that they're either going to be recase packed in future waves, or we're going to see them kind of come up more and more. Because they're going to be some of the more popular characters. Even the Rey isn't selling the same. It's the one consistent figure from the 6-inch wave that I've seen on the pegs outside of the Vader and Stormtrooper, which are just repacks from the 40th anniversary.
Exactly. And I'm sure, like you said, we'll probably get another Luke with a green lightsaber. I'm sure of it. They'll repack them with one. So, going back to your figures here of all your pickups, what's your number one? What's your number one pickup of Force Friday?
Well, from the Hasbro line, we'll start with the Hasbro line here. From the Hasbro line, I'm going to have to say the Hera and Thrawn. I didn't really pick them up. Those Sanjay's fine. But they're my 2 favorite figures, the 2 Rebels figures from this wave. I'm really liking Old Man Luke. Like, this is the one theme I guess I've got.
Yeah.
Once we talked a little bit about the Funko Pops and the Elite series.
Yep.
But that's the figure or the kind of my focus for my Force Friday 2 shopping is Old Man Luke. Or Jedi Master Luke, whatever you want to call him. Exiled Jedi Luke as one of the pops here. Yeah. So that seems to be what everyone's leaning towards, is that we didn't get that figure outside of the one Funko Pop from The Force Awakens.
Exactly.
So people want this figure. We've been anticipating this figure for 3 years, 2 years, when they first started showing the detailing sculpt that they're doing, I think back 1 or 2 toy fairs ago.
Yeah.
So we've known this figure's been coming.
Yeah.
And now we finally got it. And I just think they're going to continue to ship Jedi Master Luke.
They
Don't get wound up if you haven't found him yet. Yeah. You'll get him.
Absolutely.
So we'll get into the Elite series and the Funko in a second, but I just wanted to go back to the Hasbro 6-inch. Did you find or see any signs of Wave 2? This is the wave with General Leia, the Praetorian Guard, Maze, the Imperial Disguise Finn. Have you seen any remnants of that? Or
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. I was actually going to bring that up myself. If you've seen anything, no, I haven't seen any. But I can't wait to get my hands on General Leia.
Oh,
she looks good.
She does.
Going back to Hasbro too, these guys have stepped up. The head sculpts. I'm looking at Kylo Ren, especially if you look at Kylo Ren maskless here, and you look at the maskless Kylo Ren from the Force Awakens line. His face has been redone completely. The whole body mold is completely different, and it could have been very easy for Hasbro to go back to the same route because the clothes is kind of similar, and they completely gave us a new figure. So hats off to Hasbro because
Definitely.
it's a good looking Adam Driver for sure.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And that hair, like the sculpt on that.
Oh,
is beautiful.
especially when you got all the rebels lined up
Yeah.
together. We're just waiting on Ezra.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
it.
Ezra. It's coming, man. I think it's coming.
For sure. Yeah.
I think it's coming.
It's great.
So yeah, I haven't seen anything at least indicating that Wave 2 shipped.
No.
I've seen some images from the States,
Okay.
but it wouldn't surprise me if this wave actually doesn't come for another month
For
or
a
two.
while.
Kind of leading more into the movie as they ramp up their toy stock
Mm-hmm.
in anticipation of The Last Jedi.
No, you gained the whole wave?
Oh
you're
yeah, I'll
hunting
get
for that,
everything.
for
Yeah,
sure.
the maze, it's $30 for a Yoda size figure,
Right.
but yeah, I need to get this. I'm kind of changing how I approach things because I did when Sanjay did find that wave, I got him to grab the Vader and the Stormtrooper for me.
Repacks, basically.
The repacks.
Yeah.
But I've subsequently gone back and said, you know what? I'm not doing that. I don't need to have every single number in line here. It's $60 for a figure. I've already got the Stormtrooper from the original Black Series 2013 or 14 wave.
Yeah.
And I've got them already here with the 40th anniversary. The card back's better here. Yeah. I don't need those figures twice.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to try to rethink and reapproach how I distribute my funds for collecting.
Yeah.
And doubling up on action figures just isn't something that I want to do anymore.
No. Especially, the great thing here with the Black Series is there is no incentive to buy the whole wave, unlike the Build-A-Figure lines with the Marvel Legends. It's great that you can really just pick the characters that you like, and so be it, whereas picking up characters you don't like just to build a figure.
Yeah. Definitely. Now let's swing over to the Disney Elite Series. I know you don't collect this except for the odd one-off one.
Yeah, Anakin and Vader. That's it.
Yeah, that's all you got. Your character focused here. I'm a big fan of these, and the one thing that we've criticized the Elite Series on recently. This is the 6-inch, 7-inch diecast you get from the Disney Store. They're exclusives there. One thing that we've criticized in the past is the face sculpts on the humans. I've always found that the droids and the armored figures are superior. They're small statues.
Yes.
They've got the weight. I'm starting to pull them out of the box actually because of how good they look. And this roll around, like the Rogue One, there's a lot of human characters, and I didn't get really any of them outside of Jyn because I didn't like how their face sculpts looked. There's not a lot of detail to them, and then when you overlay the toning of the face and beards and eyes and hair, it just doesn't look right. It doesn't look as good as Hasbro. But this go around, I did pick up the Jedi Master Luke, and I did pick up the Praetorian Guard. I like the Praetorian Guard because it's different, it's red, it kind of stands out.
Samurai-like, yeah.
Exactly. And then I kept want to call him Old Man Luke. Jedi Master Luke, the first thing you said when you picked it up tonight was how good the face sculpt is. And that was the same thing I noticed. That's why I bought this figure. Because I was like, wow, this looks way better than I was expecting.
Yeah. No, it looks incredible. Yeah, I picked this guy up just now at your place here, and I'm looking at it, and the face is a big time improvement from everything else. You mentioned the beards in the past figures, like Baze, I believe, from that figure line. It was pretty bad and pretty beat up. I'm looking at Luke here, and they did a great job. The articulation always kind of worries me a little bit with these figures. I don't know how well they move, but like you mentioned before, they're like small statues, and I don't think you're meant to really get the best pose out of these characters. No. But they look really great anywhere, just lined up in the spots that they are, and they already kind of pose pretty decently as they are in the boxes.
Yeah, they've got nice poses in them. That's the one thing that maybe Hasbro doesn't do unless you're getting the more of the exclusives like Starkiller Base and that.
Right.
That these are actually posed. The Praetorian Guard looks pretty good. He's got two of his weapons up there.
Yeah.
And Luke's kind of out using the Force a bit with his walking stick.
Yes. Have we seen that before, this walking stick?
Again, this is something that you and I, we try to stay away from a lot of spoilers, right? So I know the guys over at Making Star Wars and Talk Star Wars and all that, they've been talking about his different accessories, if you will, or whatever. Yeah. And that's something that we kind of did know about. I've stayed away from it. I don't really know much about or what it does or what it is.
It's Plagueis. No.
Yeah. It kind of looks like a lightsaber hilt, actually.
Right. You mentioned that, too. The hilt there kind of does. Another cool thing with these figures, they all come with stands, which is huge. I think that should be with every figure. They should all come with stands, and that's so cool that the Elite Series give you those stands. So.
Yeah, and they're $33.99 Canadian, so they're about $3 more than the Hasbro Black Series.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. I'm a pick and choose from this.
Yeah.
Where the Black Series, I'm more of a completist,
Right.
to a degree.
Yeah.
And I think the big thing with these figures that we've noticed from the past, and I'm noticing already now, is that they're still stacked deep on the shelves.
Yeah. The price always drops too.
Yeah,
which is great.
these things are going to be discounted. I went and talked to the Disney store, one of the reps in there, and I said, look, like, what was popular? Like, you guys seem to have a lot of the Elite Series still. There was at least 15 or 20 of each figure still kicking around. And this is on Saturday afternoon.
Wow.
So there had been a full 48 hours or so of collectors coming into the store and buying these, and they're still there. And the second wave, there is a second wave that will ship. So there will be a Phasma, a Rose with BB-8, a C-3PO that looked a bit more chromed up, a Poe Dameron, a Chewie, a Finn in First Order disguise, and a Snoke. So in the gold robe. So Snoke is something I'm definitely going to get.
For sure.
But when you look at all that, that's whatever, 10 or so figures, and they're already lingering.
Yeah.
If you're into these, I would wait. I'm going to wait on most of them.
Yeah.
I think I'll grab the Snoke when it first comes out, but outside of that, I'll have to see the face sculpts and wait, because these things got down to like $8.
Oh, it's cheap. I got Vader for $12.
Yeah.
And that's Vader. I'm curious, you mentioned Phasma, so is that a repack? Or is she maskless?
No, she has the mask and everything. I think her costume is slightly changed. When I was talking to the Disney Store rep, she said that there's a mask at the back, and she said that there was a new Phasma mask.
Oh, and she has a spear too?
Yeah, she has a spear. Cool. And so I don't know if it's straight up repack. It looks a bit different. It looks actually a bit more chromed out.
That's really
than
cool,
the original Phasma from The Force Awakens.
That's
the C-3PO look like that too, because they have a dull wash to them.
Yeah.
And they don't kind of shine the way they should.
Yeah.
And I think some of that comes down, at least for Hasbro, that's just a manufacturing thing. To do the chroming out, it costs too much.
Yeah.
But the Elite Series, this is, I guess, another step they could take to separate themselves out from Hasbro.
Yes.
Is having something a bit more chrome-like. So I've only seen a picture, and we know how pictures sometimes really favor the product. Exactly. Yeah. So it's going to be difficult. It's a wait and see for me.
Okay.
But this whole line, I'm excited about it. I like it. But I'm going to wait for discount, because it's going to come.
You really can. Yeah. It's unlike the Hasbro. They don't really drop in price, whereas these Elite guys, like you said, drop down to like $8.
Yeah, so. And they're always fully stocked. Like, it's never you go in and miss one of the figures in the waves. Like, that's never happened.
No, I think it's maybe Maul and Anakin that are kind of the tougher ones.
Yeah, so the only time that it's actually happened where it's difficult to find something was they did the 6 Elite series that were 3 from the original OT movies and 3 from the prequels, and they were shipped in very limited quantities, and they had almost a raffle. My wife actually went to 3 of the raffles to try to get me, and only ended up getting the Vader. But I did find the Stormtrooper in the States, and I did find the Boba Fett kind of randomly as well.
Was that the all-white one?
No, the all-white was another one that they did on, I believe it was a May the 4th. Exclusive. So the exclusive ones, they're hard to find. Yeah. They're expensive. The General Grievous is really, I've never even seen it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And so that one's expensive to get. So what I can see this line doing it's actually good you brought that up, is eventually maybe in Dep 9 or Han Solo or whatever, I can see them really scaling it back and maybe doing more of an exclusive line that isn't quite shipped in the quantities, maybe doing more of these raffles and 4 or 5 figures per movie to try to build up this Elite series again. Because it's like you're manufacturing these things, you're selling them for $34 or whatever, and you turn around and sell most of them for $8 to $12.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if they're actually losing any money on that. They probably are overcharging us, but at the same time, that's a huge discount. They're in a third.
Yeah. That's a big drop.
Yeah, huge drop. Right. But it's a great line. And like I said, wait and see on these guys.
For sure.
So, did you spend any time in EB Games up here in Canada hunting for Black Series or hunting for, because there is the Snoke there, right? That they're anticipating.
Yeah, I was looking for the man in gold, and I'm not talking C3. Yeah, I was looking for Snoke, man. He's gonna be a hard one to find. Couldn't find him, but I did come across the Luke Skywalker speeder. And the Rey speeder bike, is it? And I know you came across those 2 figures too. I'm telling you right now, guys, they're way overpriced for now. I would hold off for sure. Go back to our rule with the $35 mark. You know, $40 is even more justified for me, but $89, $100 for these figures. Yeah. They look great. Don't get me wrong. This Luke is a big improvement from the original Farm Boy Luke. But I won't be dropping that kind of cash on these things. Definitely not.
Way too much.
Yeah.
I was shocked when I went in and saw them, I got really excited, but I couldn't figure out why there was 2 speeders and 2 rays still sitting on the shelves. That blew my mind. I was like, okay, I've come across goals here.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, if I can get these for 59, even 69, I probably would have pulled the trigger on just the Luke.
Yeah.
But I took to the front. I said, "There's no tag," and I said, "How much is this?" And the guy says, "I think it's $100." I said, "What?"
Yeah, that's outrageous.
And this is coming from the idiot myself that paid $150 for that TIE fighter, right? I bought into the hype on that one, and I blew my brains out. And so yeah, they're really cool looking. Like I love the scale of the vehicle, and that 59, 49. That feels right to me.
Yes.
Not $100. So I'm waiting on these guys. I can't justify that. There's one of the guys over in the Talk Stores VIP Facebook group tossed me a message the other day and said, if you see them in Walmart and that, can you grab me one? He's over in the UK.
Yeah.
And he sent me a photo that had them up for $20. And I said, dude,
like 20 pounds or 20?
I think it must have been, I don't know, $20 US. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I said, dude, I don't know if this is too good to be true. It looks like it's improperly marked.
Right.
Like they had put them in front of something else because that's less than a 6-inch figure.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah, these will show up, I think, at Toys R Us and Walmart. I didn't see them there.
I think so too. Yeah.
But wait on these guys. $100 is a lot.
Yeah. It's kind of like the Vader all over again in
Yeah.
a sense, right? I mean, Vader I think I first saw it at EB Games for $69, Walmart for $69, and then eventually dropped down to that $59 and then $49 point. So just pump the brakes on this one for sure.
So that's the Snoke that we mentioned. It's
Yes.
a really cool looking figure. I'm assuming it's 6+ inches. It's going to be scaled likely.
Like Chewie.
Yeah, he's got a throne, but this thing's retailing for $39.99 US. So we're looking probably at 49 plus $50.
Wow.
For that here in Canada. Does that change your perspective?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit, I'd say. Do you know what the material of his gown was kind of made of? Was it like a rubber or was it kind of like the Kylo?
Looks cloth from
It
the
is cloth.
picture. Just the way it's kind of bunched up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be another tough one because I don't know if I'm going to break my rule on this one. I really want this figure.
I know. Like it's Snoke. And
Yeah.
we have no idea who this character could be still. So yeah, that's a lot of money though on one of those figures.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it may drop as well.
Yeah.
But the problem is with a limited, at least maybe more exclusive figure because it's only in EB Games.
Yeah.
Once they are there and once they're gone,
That's a wrap.
you may not ever see it again unless you're buying secondary. That's my fear about this one in particular figure.
Yes.
I can probably live without for a while that speeder in that because I know they're going to come to Toys R Us and Walmart.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have another shot at that.
Yeah.
The Snoke, though, I don't know if
That
we
could
are
be
going to
a
have
one and
another
done.
shot.
Yeah.
So that's my fear. That's my worry on that one.
I know. I mean, if I see it, I'd probably end up pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
But damn, that's a crazy price point for that.
Yeah, it is. Bit high. Moving on here. So my next visit was to Hot Topic. I'm also a Funko Pop collector. And again, I took a really conservative approach on this one. I went to EB Games, got the pops. Walmart's starting to get the pops in. Hot Topic is a big pop seller. And I went in and kind of took stock. I thought to myself, what's gone? What's not here? Because with the pops, I'm a bit, again, pick and choose. I lean a bit more towards the exclusives, pops that are harder to find at the end of the day. And the only thing that sold out or that I never saw was the Porgs.
Oh.
So Porgs are huge.
They're going to be a big hit, like a new BB-8.
This is the hit, right?
Yeah.
So the Chewie with the Porg 3 3/4 inch action figure was a hit.
Oh, yeah.
The Porg pops are a hit. There's a Hot Topic exclusive flocked Porg pop. I'm going to say Porg. This is going to be the theme. You saw the dancing Porg and all that. But I think it was in the Disney store. But they seem to be the big sellers. Is that the Funko Pops didn't see a Porg pop. I'll get one eventually. And hopefully for a reasonable price.
Yes.
But I didn't really go too deep into the pops on this Force Friday. I only bought the exiled Jedi Luke pop here, or like Jedi Master Luke, whatever you want to call it, Luke Skywalker as it is. And I'm just going to kind of pick these up as I go. I would say maybe lean a bit more towards EB Games. They're about $3 or $4 cheaper there than they are at Hot Topic, with the exception of the exclusives. So again, I love these pop figures. I love how they look kind of just sporadically on shelves, and I like having them, but I don't need all of them. I'm not a completist in this anymore because the line's just way too deep.
It's way too deep. This Luke that you picked up, that's the Funko Pop. Is his costume different than the one that we have in the the Hasbro line and the Disney Elite?
Yeah, so it looks like the Jedi Master Luke with the white and gray robe is at one point, I guess, in the film. Whether that's right at the start, I believe, kind of at the end of The Force Awakens.
Exactly.
And then there's this other outfit that he's got that's more brown.
Yes.
And there's a mention of an exile Jedi Luke costume. I don't know if that's this one.
Right.
This seems to be more of his wandering around Arc 2 or Act 2.
Okay.
Costume or outfit or whatever, and then once he's into Jedi mode,
shoot.
We've seen images of him wearing this while training Rey.
Right. Yeah, because I thought I saw him wearing something darker.
Yeah, it's kind of a brown and kind of black outfit.
Yeah.
So that's why I picked up that pop, because it was a little bit different than what we've
cool.
seen before.
Yeah.
We did get a white and gray robed with the handout pop in the Force Awakens line.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the cool thing actually that I didn't know, speaking about Funko Pops, is that there was another wave of Rogue One released that had a young Jyn Erso, a Galen Erso, and a few other figures from that. Yeah. So
young Galen, young Jyn?
Yeah, so kind of a little tiny pop.
Crazy. Like Catalyst era kind of like.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like when she's in the hole.
Okay,
at the start of the film there. Yeah.
Crazy.
So yeah, I didn't realize they were even releasing those.
Nice.
I didn't pick anything up. I might grab the Galen Erso at some point here. So,
Cool.
And then the only other, I guess, the other two big things here for me when I'm out looking is I did poke into chapters because we've had some success there in the past. It's also known as Indigo, I believe, in the States, and they didn't really have anything, nothing. No, this is where we got the Darth Revan wave.
Yeah, and Old Ben.
Yeah, exactly. And there was, other than the books, Phasma and Leia, Princess of Alderaan.
Yeah, Claudia Gray, Shadow.
Oh yeah, it's coming down.
Yeah.
I got to get the audiobook on that one.
For sure.
But I did pick up the books. They look nice. They're about $30 a piece.
Yeah.
I know you have been kind of veering into that, just to have
collecting
nice the books, to have them on the shelves and that. Did you pick any of them up?
No, I didn't pick any of those up yet. I did come across the Thrawn book as well, but I've yet to pick those up. I kind of like to audible them first, and then I'll go back and pick them up.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice. And Lego, last thing here.
Yeah, your jam.
It is, but this Force Friday, I didn't pick up any Lego.
Nothing.
No, the only reason I didn't pick up any Lego is that I have a gift card to Walmart, and Walmart didn't have any The Last Jedi Legos for whatever reason. No, and that shocked me because Lego seems to be the thing that consistently ships everywhere, and Lego's not something I ever get wound up about.
Right.
You can still buy Age of Ultron Lego if you really want. It's still on the shelves, and that's from like
2014.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Yeah.
So they're still kicking around, or whatever it was, 2015.
Yeah.
And the one thing that did shock me about the Lego, the one kind of key piece that I want is the ATM6. This is the Gorilla Walkers.
With the red stuff? The
huge walkers.
Big. Okay,
so there's that poster that Toys R Us gave out, and it shows them up against the AT-ATs, the AT-ATs from Empire Strikes Back. But they're absolutely huge. And there's this awesome Lego set.
Yeah.
But I thought it would be around, I don't know, $130, $169.
169?
Yeah. I'm going to get it.
Holy. How many pieces is that one?
It's over 1,000.
Wow. Okay.
So,
well, it's worth... Well, you're getting bang for your buck there,
yeah,
I guess.
It is. It's a good build. It's a nice build. I've got the AT-AT over here. I love that. That's one of my favorite vehicles. Again, with these big gorilla walkers. I'm really loving the look of them, the scale, the size of them. So I'm excited for that build. It's a Star Destroyer, which is $179. So that's another big one. These ones I'm gonna probably have to wait for like a Christmas present or something like that. And then there's also the Kylo Ren, his TIE Striker. Right. So it looks pretty cool. So that's in that $89 range. That's probably be the first one I buy.
Nice.
So because I've refocused again, Lego collecting, I think I've said this in the past, to just ships and vehicles.
Well, which one is that leaked image of Snoke? Because we saw there's a leaked image of Snoke, right? As the Lego Man.
Oh, that's on the Star. That's on the Star Destroyer.
That's on the Star Destroyer.
Yeah,
okay, that makes more sense.
So that's on the big Star Destroyer.
So that one hasn't been out.
That is there.
Oh, that's the one that's 170.
Yeah, 179.99. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's another big one. That's 1,000, 1,200 maybe, or 1,500 pieces. So my goal is to eventually have both of those.
Nice.
It's just when I pull the trigger on them. And like I said, Lego Store, Walmart, Toys R Us, everywhere is going to have them. When you want to buy it.
Right.
That's the thing.
That's the beauty with the Lego, though.
Yeah,
right?
you never have to panic about Lego. So overall, your thoughts on Force Friday 2?
Yeah, it turned out okay. I mean, I guess I got everything that I wanted, so I'm happy. I didn't go out there and actually go on the big hunt. I didn't wait in line. I didn't get to bump into Krennic or anybody like that out there last year. But no, it's pretty cool. I look forward to doing it next year for, I guess it'll be like a solo Friday.
Yeah, solo Friday.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Maybe
Nice.
we'll get that little young Lando out there. We'll see.
Yeah.
See how that goes. But apart from that, it's good. I'm looking at this Luke now Elite series though, and then I might have to pull a trick on that one too. It looks pretty good. The head game looks good. So yeah.
We're better.
All in all for you.
Pretty good. Like I said, my Force Friday ended up being Force Saturday morning.
Right.
So I made out pretty well. I think I got everything, again, shout out to Sanjay for hooking us up with that first wave. That was the big one. That was the one that gives me anxiety.
Yeah.
And having that is fantastic. I don't have to think about that. Don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And I went at this, like I said, a bit more of a conservative approach. And I think I walked away with everything that I wanted. I've tried to execute the plans and the ideas that we've developed here over the last year or so about being on the hunt.
Yes.
And I'm happy with it. The only thing I am missing, and I guess the big Force Friday 2 prize is what I've kind of observed from everywhere we've been that isn't on the shelves anymore, is the 3 3/4 inch Jedi Master Luke, 6-inch Jedi Master Luke, anything to do with Porgs, the plush. It was the only thing that sold out from the Disney store. The Hot Topic Porg pop sold out, and the Legos, they just didn't seem to be as present. I didn't go to the Lego store at all, but they're not at Walmart. They were sold out at Toys R Us, the bigger ones too. So we'll see those kind of rolled up, but that seemed to be overall what people were hunting. And the thing I'm missing, the thing I'm really hunting for now, is that 3 3/4 inch Jedi Master Luke. That's my big one. That's that one that eludes me right now, but I'm very confident that we will get it.
Good stuff. Yeah, for me, I guess I just have to go for that that Snoke.
Yes.
From EV Games.
Yeah, it's we'll see it. We'll get it. We'll get it.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
For sure.
So one thing I want to discuss here quickly as we wrap up some of this Force Friday 2 talk before we get into a few other small things is the presence of Force Friday 2, the overall retailer awareness and retailer presence of Star Wars at this point in time in the film cycle as we ramp up towards December. For me, when I look at everywhere I was, there just wasn't the same amount of merchandise and hype as we had for The Force Awakens. Now, I get that we're not coming off a 10-year absence of Star Wars, but we are a saga film here, and I'm seeing a real lack of participation outside of fandom for this film. Did you get the same vibe, or is it just me? Like, am I reading too much into it?
A little bit. So I got the same kind of vibe again, going back to Walmart, because it's just such a 360 as opposed to last year where there's a huge presence there, and Walmart's predominantly where I go to do all my pickups, and Walmart was just a dead zone. And Chapters, it seems like they pulled their Black Series, not even just the Black Series, their figures as a whole to the online market. So
Yeah.
I just kind of feel like there's a lack of Star Wars out there except for Toys R Us, really.
Yeah.
So I did come across that a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think that will be reflected in the film itself, like the anticipation for that, or do you think it's just going to be more of a slow and steady burn up until December?
Yeah, slow and steady.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be huge. Especially the replay value of this film. I have a really good feeling this film is just going to take off and surpass the expectations of Force Awakens.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's a big hurdle to get over.
It is a big hurdle. I don't know if it will necessarily make more money because that's huge,
Yeah.
what Force Awakens did. And like you mentioned, it had that 10-year anticipation going on. But I really feel like Rian Johnson is the right guy for this film. And I can't wait, man.
Yeah, I'm
Can't wait.
so looking forward to it.
Yeah.
This is going to be, like I said, this is our first huge milestone outside of the pure countdown.
Yeah.
And now we're ramping up towards it. We've got a few movie stops along the way.
Yeah.
But episode 8, it's coming. The Last Jedi.
Give us that trailer. When do you think it's coming?
I don't care because I'm not going to watch it.
You're going to stay away from it?
I think so.
Wow.
I think I'm done with spoilers.
Incredible.
I've removed myself from most articles. I didn't read the Empire stuff and Entertainment Weekly, the Brezniak stuff. I stayed away from. I don't think I'm going to do this trailer.
Wow. Huge.
And that's, we have this podcast and we talk Star Wars on it all the time.
Right.
I'm going to have to step out of the room if you want to talk about it because I just don't think I want to spoil anymore.
For sure. Especially with the saga films here, right?
Yeah. Like I just want to go in and be surprised and be like, I'm always engaged, of course.
Oh, yeah.
But going to The Force Awakens and Rogue One, I feel like I knew a lot about what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And some of that is just because we're so involved in the community and the movies and doing the podcast and the books and everything like that. So I'm going to step back a little bit, I think, from it all. With the exception of this one little tiny tidbit that we're going to talk about right now.
Cool.
And this is a rumor. This is maybe not a rumor. This is something that some people are saying is confirmed based off of this. As Force Friday 2 happens, there's other things that come out outside of toys and action figures and all that. There's also a model kit, and this was a model kit for Kylo Ren's TIE Striker. And in the background of that was a Death Star. Now, rumors have been absolutely swirling around the internet that this is somewhat of a confirmation that there's going to be a third Death Star in The Last Jedi. And some people aren't too pleased about this retreading of this somewhat of a trope of a super weapon in a Star Wars film. We've seen 2 Death Stars, we've seen a Starkiller base, and then we saw the original Death Star again in Rogue One. So we've revisited this theme a lot. Do you think that this box art is telling us something a bit more about the film, or do you think it's just lazy and these guys basically effed up?
I think they want you to believe exactly what we're talking about, but I don't think it is that. The more you look at it, it looks like the way it's shaded gives it that ball kind of figure, but if you look past the shadiness, you can kind of see a little bit more of an angle towards it as I keep looking towards this image. You know what I mean?
So you think that they're purposely misleading us?
I think so, because Disney's too smart to give stuff away like that. There was that one slip up I do remember though before for Force Awakens when I think it's a toy commercial for a girl and a boy. The girl was dressed up similar to Rey and she was using the Force.
Yeah.
So it was like, wait a second, does that mean Rey is a Jedi? There was that one slip up, but I think they've learned the lesson quite a bit from then. And I don't think this is a start, or I don't think this is a Death Star. If this is a Death Star, this is going to be pretty upsetting. I feel like we need to get away from the Starkiller base and the Death Star or any kind of super weapons out there. Yeah. I just don't think we need it at this point in time.
I think this is lazy art. I think this is clip art. I think this is a Star Destroyer or a Death Star, in the background of this thing. But what I'll say here, because you take that, and then there's an image release in this Empire magazine. I didn't read the article, but I did look at this one image, and this is the image that's been floating around that's been related to this model kit, is that we've got Poe's X-Wing approaching a Star Destroyer, and in the background there's clearly something very large.
Right.
And it looks metal, and it looks, if you want to make that leap, it could potentially be another Death Star.
Right.
But what I think it really is there was another release from this new Sphero app that comes with the little BB-8 droids. Whatever it is, the new First Order BB unit.
Right.
And with it comes somewhat of a little atlas or something. And in there was revealed Snoke's mega Star Destroyer called the Supremacy. And this is a new class of Star Destroyer. This is the Mega class. This is the only one of its kind, this Mega Star Destroyer. And it's absolutely enormous. It's 60 kilometers wide, which it's hard to put that in your mind into perspective. But for reference, the Star Destroyer that we saw Kylo Ren in is 3 kilometers long, relative to 60 kilometers wide. And the Executor class Super Star Destroyers that we saw in Empire Strikes Back and in Return of the Jedi were 19 kilometers long. So this Supremacy is 3 times bigger than the Super Star Destroyer that we saw in Empire Strikes Back.
Do we know what the circumference was of the Death Star?
160 kilometers, I believe, was the first. Yeah, 160 kilometers was the first Death Star, I believe, the original.
Wow,
and the second was bigger.
Wow.
And then if you remember Starkiller Base, when they kind of showed them, it was even bigger.
Yeah.
But if you look at that, like, this is on the scale of a super weapon.
Yeah.
And less of a ship.
Yes.
So I think that's going to be the big threat, is this massive ship that apparently is hiding out in wild space. And this is the home base for the First Order.
Well, they'd have to do some explaining then, because that's kind of the lazy part with the Starkiller base. There wasn't much explanation. I don't know if they even touched on it in Bloodlines.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, right?
No.
It's just kind of there, especially how intricate Rogue One was, and if you read the Catalyst, how much went into the first Death Star. So I kind of feel like we need some explanation going into these things, or maybe not. Maybe we just kind of assume it's the same kind of mechanics taken from that and brought into these ships. So I hope they stay away from that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're definitely getting this massive
Star Destroyer. Yeah, definitely.
It's definitely in the film. Mm-hmm. It looks pretty cool, but I really think that clip art is just lazy work.
Yeah.
It looks like the dish of a star or a Death Star.
Yes, I see that scoop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think this image, if you pair it, I really think it's going to be this big mega Star Destroyer. It's going to be the huge looming threat. and they're going to mount maybe some sort of attack on it towards the end of the film or something like that. So I think that's where all that's going. I really don't believe it's a third Death Star.
Yeah, because there's a lot of backlash, or a fourth, I guess, technically. Because there's a lot of backlash with Starkiller Base, right?
Yes.
Which is essentially the third.
Exactly. Yeah, it was very along the similar lines.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't bother me. Like, would it bother me if there's another Death Star in here? I'd maybe roll my eyes.
Yeah.
But would it ruin the movie? I don't think so.
No, I don't think it'd ruin the movie. I just don't. I feel like, again, you mentioned it, Ryan Johnson's taking this film direction somewhere different, and I think he'd stay super far away from something like that. And I feel like it's kind of lazy just to have that plot device there that can just destroy things. On the dime. So we'll see though.
Yeah. I really don't think it's going there. But.
Are you a fan of this art that they've been using with the white backgrounds and the red?
You know what, man? When we first talked a couple episodes ago about the art on the card backs of the 3 3/4 inch, that's when I made my first comment. I don't love it.
Yeah.
I think it's too plain.
Yes.
I like the white, like it stands out from what they've done in the past, and it stands out on the pegs too.
Okay, yeah.
But the fact that it doesn't even just say The Last Jedi on it, it seems way too generic.
Yeah.
Like they don't have the specifics of the film to it. Like Rogue One had Star Wars, or Rogue One, a Star Wars story, slapped on it with a Death Trooper head, right?
Yeah.
This is just a white card back. There's no like themed villain. Like you look at The Force Awakens, it had Kylo. You look at Phantom Menace, it had Maul. All the other clip art we've gotten from recent releases was either Maul or Darth Vader. Like they always had a villain up in the corner, and I liked that. This some of it has Finn, Poe, and Rey on it, but some of it's just white and red. Like I like the red pop on the white, but it just doesn't have that same like artistic nuance to it that I loved about the other card backs, that I loved about what we are seeing from the clip art and all that are on the boxes, or on the role play games and all that.
Yeah.
I wanted a little more.
Yeah, no, I was wondering if your attitude changed towards it, since you have a couple of them now, but seeing them in real life, not so much.
Yeah, so we'll see. But that more or less wraps it up for our Force Friday 2 discussions. I think that overall, it was an absolutely fantastic day for me. I had a lot of fun. I was out with my little one and my wife, and that were kind of running around to the different stores, and it was a lot of fun for me. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed being out in the hunt, and I really enjoyed it being not a stressful hunt.
Yes.
Because sometimes it's you're going into a store on Saturday morning and you're fast-paced walking to the toy aisle just to make sure that you can get ahead of whatever crowd you think is running there behind you, right? So yeah, it was nice to have it that way, and I look forward to being on the hunt here more and more as we ramp up towards episode 8.
That's right. The hunt is real.
It is real.
Yeah.
But one other big thing that we've got coming down here is not only Star Wars The Last Jedi, but Star Wars Rebels Season 4.
Yeah, the final season.
The final season. Now, this is set to now debut on October 16th on the Disney XD channel. We had previously reported that it was debuting on the 23rd of September. So September is no longer the month of Rebels. It is now October. Oh. And that gives us a little bit more time to prepare for this final season. And Troy and I, we do our Rebels after show. This is a weekly podcast that just follows up from each and every episode of Star Wars Rebels, where we talk for about half an hour, just briefly, about each individual episode and wrap it up and talk about some of the themes and where we think things are going. You can go back and check out our entire catalog for season 3 right now and catch up as we go and barrel towards season 4. We've been doing the same thing. This drops every single Monday, with each individual episode dropping on Saturday on Disney XD. We follow that up with our podcast after show. So that's going to be coming with each and every episode. The first episode is the 2-part Mandalore arc, and they did screen both of those episodes at the Fan Expo Canada in Toronto this past weekend. Nice. Again, Rob Cass was down at that. He was feeding us some information. He's showing us some of the trailers that he had taken some video of within the Commonwealth and that. Right. So really appreciate him giving us a little more insight. He saw the Mandalore arc, the first 2 episodes here, number 1, which was aired back at Celebration.
Right.
So that's what we got coming here in our debut episode. But along with that, we also got our second Star Wars Rebels Season 4 trailer.
Pretty cool.
Yes.
Pretty cool trailer.
It is. It's a bit different. It's kind of highlighting, I think, the major arcs that we're going to see without giving too much. Of course, we've got Thrawn happening in a big way, And I think we're going to see him and Hera be pitted against each other for a good chunk of it.
Yeah.
And maybe even Rook, it looks like, as well.
Yeah.
We've got what seemingly is an Ezra Kanan Jedi arc as well. And then we've got the Sabine Mandalore arc.
Yes.
Those seem to be the three pivots, all centered around what is eventually going to be the siege or battle of Lothal.
Right.
And that's going to be our big, I think, epic ending to all of this. And that's what we're driving towards here, is the final showdown between Thrawn and the rebels on Lothal as they try to take apart his TIE Defender production. This is the next evolution of TIE fighters. This is something that Thrawn's developing. You see a lot of him working in the background in the Thrawn book as well. You see how they're trying to kind of blend this book as I read through it into what they're doing here.
Cool. Okay.
So overall, what are your kind of high level? We're not going to go into too much detail here. I think we'll do a prelude episode for Star Wars Rebels Alert and talk in a bit more detail about where we think the whole season is going. But just kind of at a high level, where do you think some of these major arcs are going to take our Ghost Crew, our main characters?
I think going with Star Wars Rebels tradition, I guess you could say, these kind of trailers were basically like the first couple episodes we get before, December time even, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't think this is going to be the whole season. I do like this trailer more than the one that we actually got from Celebration.
Yeah.
Actually, this is pretty cool. We got more of the wolves action, which is neat. I think that theory's been debunked completely that Ahsoka is one of the wolves. I'm pretty sure they're going away from that.
Filoni came right out and said,
oh, okay, well, there you go.
It's not Ahsoka.
It's not.
There's a picture online that said this is a wolf, and this
that's
is
right,
Ahsoka.
the red silhouette kind of one.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. And I know Filoni loves his wolves. The Mandalorian thing, I hope it kind of gets wrapped up pretty quick.
I think 2 episodes.
Two
that would
episodes
be my
is
guess.
Great for me.
And then bring Sabine back in.
Exactly, and just be done with it, because I would not want that to be the whole season of just the Mandalorian war stuff going on. So that's cool. The highlight for me is, I gotta say, is Hera and Kanan.
Yeah.
Coming off the heels of reading Kanan's comic books too, this is pretty cool. So I can't wait for his story to be wrapped up. We'll see how he exits the Star Wars universe. So that should be pretty cool. And all in all, yeah, it's not a bad trailer. I really hope Vader makes his appearance, though. I really do, because I feel like the strong points was him in season 2. We got rid of the what were they called? His Sith.
Inquisitors.
The Inquisitors. They got rid of those guys at last, which is cool. So I would like to see Vader pop up. I would like to see Ahsoka pop up, obviously. But again, like I mentioned, this trailer normally captures like the first 7 episodes or so. So I'm pretty sure there's room for it to go.
Like 10 episodes.
It's only a 10-episode season.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
It's so short. Another cool highlight actually was Saw Gerrera.
Yes.
And the mention of Krennic.
Yes.
Which was huge.
Well, they even mentioned in there, so there's quite a few Rogue One mentioned.
Big time.
You get Saw Gerrera, and he's getting old. He's got the gray.
He has the hair.
Yeah, he's getting a little crazier.
Yeah.
Mention of Krennic by Tarkin.
Yeah.
And they also mention Stardust as well, which is awesome.
Catalyst of Rogue One.
Yes.
Yes, that was huge.
Yeah.
That was huge. So I wonder if we could see Galen or so, because he didn't get enough screen time in the movie, to be honest.
We have to see Galen and Krennic in this.
We have to.
Even how awesome it would be to have Tarkin, Thrawn, and Krennic in the room together.
Right, and the Mickelson's brothers.
Yes.
Because they both... Could you imagine?
So good.
To see those two go at it would be incredible. Yeah. So I hope we get all those villains. I hope we get to see everybody interact.
Death Troopers in a big way.
Death Troopers, that's right.
I love the Death Troopers. Again, I don't think they get enough time.
I don't think so. And I feel like, with this show here, we can portray them a little bit more so. So all in all, your thoughts?
Well, I have a theory here I'm going to throw on the table.
Okay, I love theories.
First theory for Star Wars Rebels Season 4.
Here you go.
Coming out of this trailer here. So this whole thing with the wolves and follow the white Lothal cat, and you go through different pieces of this trailer, and you really get a sense that there's going to be an episode with Kanan and Ezra doing some sort of Jedi exploration. And I'm going to call this, I might be very wrong, but I'm going to say there's going to be an episode, and I'm going to coin this term here, called Force Trippin'.
Force tripping. Oh, shoot. That's cool.
So I really think that this wolf thing, the Lothal cat, and some of the lines we hear from Kanan and Ezra about, what is it? It's not whether we choose to fight, but how we choose to fight. And they seem to be setting up Kanan's exit with that. But I really think there's going to be this exploration of Ezra with all these kind of more trippy elements. You see him in the start of the trailer. He wakes up in the middle of the desert and he's kind of, what happened? Yeah. I think that at some point he's gone into some sort of force trance and is going through and trying to understand a bit more of the Force through what I'm calling a Force trip.
Okay.
I think this is maybe where we're going to see Ahsoka as well. In this, is she's not present in the sense she's alive, but she's present within the Force. And Ezra doing this exploration through the Force, kind of mentally. This is where he's going to interact with Ahsoka.
So she lives within Ezra mentally.
Yes, she
Not
lives
Force
within.
Ghost, but
she
just
lives
mentally.
because there was that shirt that Filoni wore, right? That
Yeah.
Ahsoka lives.
Exactly.
I think she lives within the Force, the living Force.
Oh, okay.
And Ezra's going to encounter her in this episode. That's going to be this massive exploration, and really setting up this idea that they've been pushing a lot in Rebels about this ambiguity of the Force. That it's not as clear cut, binary, black and white as we have always known it to be. It's going to be a little bit different. And I think this is going to really set up for what we're probably going to see at the end of the series with Kanan and Ezra, or at least Kanan moving towards something that's beyond just a physical form of a Jedi.
Right.
I think there's something they're really building there. Like, I don't think there's actually these wolves running around. I think there's something within the Force, and they're Filoni's representation, because he likes wolves.
Yes.
They're Filoni's representation of something bigger, of something more within the Force.
Oh.
So that's kind of what I'm thinking with that. Like, I like, there's some really, really odd lines in this trailer, specifically coming from Kanan. And we've been calling this from the start that Kanan's going to exit in a strange way.
Yes.
That he's not going to maybe die in the kind of physical form. Like, he's going to translate into something different.
Right.
Because even here, like, there's a line right at the end that it's all paths are coming together, and I'm not sure we're going to like where they're going. So again, they're setting something up to say that they've stepped back from the rebellion. Because Kanan, with Hera, he says, how long are you going to fight for this rebellion?
Yeah.
How long until you think about us, about something else?
Right.
So he's getting to the end of what seems to be his run as a Jedi. I think.
Yes. And just overall fighting the Empire.
Yes.
Right?
So that's kind of my big theory coming out of this trailer. What I think is that there's a little more to that. I don't think it's all literal.
Right. So what you're saying is Kanan Snoke.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
No, that's cool. That's cool. I dig that. Force tripping. I like that one. You got to hashtag that. Shoot. That's awesome. Yeah.
And the last thing, X-Wings.
Oh, man. Yes.
Come on.
Right? They're there.
Yes.
They're there. Yeah.
Mounting the assault on Lothal on this blockade set up by Thrawn. And I can't wait. You're going to see the X-Wings going up against the TIE Defenders. And maybe, do you think the demise of Thrawn, do you think this is going to be the end of Thrawn within the canonical Star Wars universe? Like, we can go back, but do you think he's going to at least be exiled or shot off into wilds? Do you think that this is it for him?
I don't know, because, going back to, was it last year's Celebration? They made the reveal that we're getting Timothy Zahn's Thrawn in this universe, and I feel like there's a lot of hype going in towards it. I just feel like it's kind of hasn't lived up to what we all wanted. And I think they're at a point where it's either make or break. Either we just send off the character and be done with it and put it behind us. We kind of did some fan service by bringing them to life, or they continue with this character. And I think the best way is to kind of kill the character, and then we can kind of get some past stories even going forward. Because I don't really necessarily know how well received this book was, and he's had his moments in Rebels, but it still hasn't lived up to like the Timothy Zahn heir to the Empire, right?
Yeah. So he won't ever live up. Like, the problem with Thrawn, I really like what they've done with him, because I'm a huge Thrawn fan.
Right.
But the problem is that because he was in charge of the Empire, like, he was the head of the Empire.
Yes.
He was the big bad for the universe.
Right.
And right now he's the big bad for the start of the rebellion.
Yeah, and he's under Vader, he's under Tarkin, he's under well, I guess that's about it. Yeah, he's under Krennic too.
Because he's like a Grand Admiral within a humongous Imperial Navy, he doesn't stick out. Yes, he does have this way about him that makes him unique, but he doesn't stick out the same way. They have everything. In The Heir to the Empire and in that trilogy of books, he was at the end of the Empire. He was working with the remnants of what used to be this massive Imperial Navy.
Right.
And so he used his intelligence to build up the Empire to a point where it could oppose the New Republic. And because Thrawn's kind of stuck in the middle here, amongst this massive navy and trying to make a name for himself with these TIE Defenders, it's not on the same scale.
Right.
I think that might be the issue.
That's the biggest thing. So do you think he could go, because we don't know how long his species lives for, right? Do you think they could put him away for somewhere else wrap up episode 9 and then introduce Thrawn. But then again, you have to kind of reintroduce him. Where's this guy been the whole time? And then the general audience doesn't really necessarily know who he is.
Yeah.
If you just follow the movies.
The only thing they could really do with them, this doesn't, spoilers, I guess, a little bit for Thrawn, but it doesn't really spoil anything. I'm not going to spoil
for the book.
For the book, yeah, sorry. I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but the species of Thrawn does originate, I believe, in wild space.
Oh.
So he could technically be chucked out there, narratively,
right,
and come back in some other way later on down the road, and they say, well, he was exiled or whatever. You could potentially do something like that if you want to continue with him. Yeah, you could put him on the shelf for a while and have him reemerge. The way to do it would to have him reemerge in the Aftermath books.
Yeah,
that might have been the way to do it.
Right.
Other than what they've done. And there is a slight mention of Thrawn in the Aftermath books.
Yeah.
Just one couple throwaway lines that maybe allows you to kind of develop that theory a bit further.
Right.
But I think unfortunately, I think we're going to see the end of Thrawn.
I think so. And again,
one way or another.
I feel like this character would have either been better, not necessarily set in the Clone Wars, but set on the Cartoon Network where he could do more things a little bit darker, or be cinematic and put him on the big screen. Whereas I feel like Disney XD, he's just held down, he's watered down a little bit too much.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate.
Yeah, we'll see. I think they're going to do good things with him.
Yes.
And I'm a big fan of the character. And I like his season 3, what they've done. Yeah, he could have maybe executed things a bit quicker. Yeah. But this slow burn, I kind of like the character. I thought they're going to kill him at the end of this season 3.
That's right.
And I'm happy we're going to see him through and kind of be that first big bad for the rebellion.
That's true. And I guess with 10 episodes, we'll see that slow burn a little bit faster.
We're going to have to.
They have to, right?
Yeah.
So that'll work for me.
So all in all, super excited. This looks like, if you go back and look at the other seasons, there always seems to be a character focus. Like Ezra was first season. We got Sabine in a big way last season. Yeah. This could be the season of Hera.
I hope so.
Because she comes out into Rogue One, and I think this is a character that they could do future things with in her own show or something to that effect, right?
I would love
that she has another crew that is part or maybe more ingrained within the original trilogy, and they kind of they could do something with Hera.
Right.
If they needed to pull a character out of Rebels and spin out a cartoon or not so much a cartoon, but a follow-up to Rebels set in a slightly different era. They've already established that Hera makes it through into Rogue One. And this is a character that you could take and slap her in the middle of between Empire and Return of the Jedi or something like that, right?
That's what I want.
And you could say, we're familiar with this character. We know she's alive. We know she's a general within the rebellion. What can we do with this character?
Yeah.
Maybe I think this is a theory that was tossed out by maybe Mark at TSW. Someone, I'm sorry if I'm not giving the right credit, that Hera could have been the leader of the crew that captured the second Death Star plans.
Cool. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
I love
so that's
that.
not my theory. That's someone else's.
Okay.
But,
okay. Well, whoever did that out there, I love that. And I'd love to see that happen, whether it's through a cartoon series, through an ongoing comic.
Yeah.
That'd be great. The art to capture Hera.
Yeah. I think they're going to set her up in this season for something bigger, whether it's a comic book or something else. I think she's the one character that you could probably pull out of here. Her and Sabine, but I think Hera, because she's so ingrained in the rebellion, that you could do a lot more with that character and make it still feel like Star Wars.
For sure, yeah, because the thing with Sabine is she's the hair color, it's a little too cartoony. It belongs, in the cartoons.
Yeah, and the Mandalore stuff too, it's I still struggle with it a bit. Like I know some people really, really love the Mandalorian and all that lore and all that. It still feels a bit one step or two steps removed from the Star Wars that I love.
Yeah, I think I appreciate more so in the Old Republic era.
It fits better in that. Right now. Yes. Yeah. I think I would probably have a better appreciation if I understood it more or what it used to be as it relates to the Old Republic and the battle between
like Revan going over there and I think Malik. So all those characters, because I have a hard time believing, between episode 4 and Rogue One that the Mandalorians are somewhere out there. I just feel like they're a little more, like they're older, like 800, 1,000 years older.
Yeah, unless they see a complete demise in Star Wars Rebels. Like, where were the Mandalorians, right? Like, and see, that's all things that they have to start thinking up, because the Mandalorians came and helped out with this initial battle at the end of season 3, right?
Yes.
And, where were they during the Battle of Yavin?
Exactly.
Something like that, right?
Right.
So it's
that
all
stuff.
things that I know, again, complete confidence in Filoni for thinking this through.
For sure.
He knows there's hundreds of us out there that are breaking this down and looking for the details, looking for that story continuity. And I know they're going to execute this. I just have a great feeling that because we're only getting 4 seasons, that Filoni's had a vision from the start.
Yes.
And that we're going to execute, or he's going to execute this to the point where he's happy. This isn't going to drag on for 6 seasons and they're like, oh, I guess we should probably get to the Battle of Yavin,
Right.
or whatever, right? Or,
Yeah.
or Scarif or something. So
That's right. And he mentioned that in Celebration, that he actually gets the chance now to finish the series as opposed to Clone Wars, the plug got pulled.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Finish it on a high note, finish it in the best way possible.
Yes.
I'm super excited for this. I'm super excited to return to the after show. I'm
Oh,
really
yeah.
pumped for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you guys tune back into that. And you know what, man? That kind of really wraps up our Star Wars talk. That was a heavy Star Wars episode.
Lots to cover, man.
Oh man, I'm
Big
loving
time.
it. Loving it.
Always
This is
talking Star Wars.
yeah, the era to be alive. To be
sure.
a Star Wars fan. This is fantastic. And we've got so much else going on around us too. We've got Defenders, which you've completed.
Yes.
I'm 6 episodes in, so I'm
you
about
go.
done that. We're going to be reviewing that in either next week or the week after. We've got
Yes.
the Inhumans that we have to go check out.
Not
Are you
hearing
gonna-
good things.
No, I've not seen a single review for it.
Nice.
I know it made $1.5 million in the IMAX. So
Yeah, because I totally skipped out on that one too.
yeah, which
Wow.
if in comparison, I guess it's all right, but 'cause it's a TV show and that. But Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, that debuted in 1977 as well. It was supposed to be the sci-fi movie of 77, but Star Wars turned out to be that.
Right.
It's a Spielberg film. It's fantastic. I love it. It's actually in theaters as well. It made more money than The Inhumans. It's a 40-year-old movie that is, yeah, it's a fantastic movie. Don't get me wrong.
For sure.
But the generation of people that are fans of that, like that came out, like it doesn't have that same kind of presence as Star Wars. Like
Yes.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It's a Spielberg movie. It's a sci-fi movie. It is fantastic.
Incredible.
But it's
Cool.
not Star Wars.
Right.
And so for that to make more money at the weekend box office, because it's having a limited 40th anniversary special run in theaters, it made more money than the Inhumans.
Wow. There's a lot of money that went into Humans.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
So we're going to be discussing Marvel and that and over the next couple of weeks.
sure.
We've got some comic book events to catch up on
Oh,
here.
definitely. Yeah. Secret Empire.
Secret Empire.
Yeah, DC Metal, all that good stuff.
So we're going to be coming back at you guys for the next couple of weeks, catching up on a lot of stuff that we missed over the last few. You guys did a huge job with DC last week, catching us up on all the DC news and talking kind of the McGregor-Mayweather
Yeah.
fights. And yeah, we got lots coming up here. We got Thor Ragnarok in November, and then we got Last Jedi.
Yeah. And Justice League. You got Justice League
Oh
coming
yeah,
out there.
that movie.
Yeah, that movie.
Whoops, that escaped me. We'll see how that one turns out. That was subconsciously forgetting that. I did not mean to do that on purpose. So we will be back reviewing all those movies. We're going to be talking comics. We're going to be talking TV shows. We got debut of everything coming down here in early September.
That's right.
So yeah, it's big countdown. It's a big couple months for us. And we're going to come back every single week discussing all things comic books and movies.
Yeah, that's right, guys. Keep it locked here as always.
Definitely. And if you'd like to be a part of the show, you can always email us at thenerdrm@gmail.com. You can catch us on Twitter. Our handles are at the end of the episode. You can comment on our Facebook or YouTube pages, and you can visit our website. That's www.thenerdroom.net. I don't know why I said www, but I did, so it's there. So that's thenerdroom.net. You can catch us through email on there. We're posting articles all the time. Mark from Talk Star Wars has been posting some unreal theories.
Some cool theories out there, guys. Trust me.
So
Go
this
check those.
guy, I love Mark. He's
yeah.
awesome. He's continually blowing my mind. Whether it's Marvel theories or Star Wars theories, this guy is on point. And I'm so happy that he's come over and is contributing once in a while to the website. So make sure you go check out his stuff, both on our website and over on talkstars.co.uk as well. One other thing I want to throw out there while we're kind of plugging things here. The guys over at Tumbling Saber, Corey and Kyle, they just started a Patreon program called Powerful Friends. I signed up for that. This is just, it's like a $2 donation a month. You get some exclusive content. Their Sith the Service show has moved over to that. That's more of their candid podcast where they talk a little bit of Star Wars, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's a lot of fun. I like to listen to it on a Friday afternoon. It kind of gets me into the weekend here. You're getting exclusive giveaways over there. They're doing some exclusive content. So they're doing really great stuff over there. So if you guys can whip over there and support them as well, go and do that. They're great guys, great podcasters. Yeah, we got our dude, Corey.
Yeah,
man.
Corey and Kyle, man, they're great. They're great.
They had big weekends on Force Friday too, so make sure to go check those guys out. And check out the whole Star Wars Commonwealth. You got Talk Star Wars, Tumbling Saber, Generation X-Wing, Skyhoppers, who celebrated their 1 year anniversary of podcasting. Nice. Congratulations, guys.
There you go, guys.
We got Rogue Squad Pod.
Yeah.
And we've got San Diego Sabers, which I've been listening to a lot of this stuff lately. Those guys are awesome.
They're great.
They're so good. Yeah. So good.
Yeah,
They're our newest members to the Commonwealth, and it's a niche podcast, but it's such a cool angle and a cool corner of Star Wars that I'm not super familiar with. And they're awesome. And they of course, they go into the same depth that we do. So go check those guys out, newest members of the Commonwealth. Everyone is just cracking along here. There's a new episode of the Star Wars Commonwealth, of our podcasters, every single day of the week. So there's content there. We cover each and every angle, whether it's a literature, movies, film, theories, saber fighting, whatever, Rebels, anything. It's all there for you guys. So make sure to go check out everyone within the Star Wars Commonwealth. All right, man. Well, that's another podcast.
Yeah, welcome back.
Yeah, it feels good to be back. Yeah. Good to be podcasting again. Can't wait till next week when hopefully I can live up to the promise of having the entire crew back at the table, talking Defenders, I'm hoping, talking maybe Inhumans. Who knows?
Who knows?
We'll figure that out when the time comes. All right, guys. Until next week for the Nerd Room, I'm Tim.
I'm Troy.
And thank you for entering the Nerd Room.
This has been a Nerd Room podcast production. You can find our hosts, Tim, Troy, and Sanjay on Twitter at TheNerdRM, TroyTheBoy87, and Sunjabby. For more content from the Nerd Room, check out thenerdroom.net. And don't forget to subscribe to the Nerd Room on iTunes, Podbean, and YouTube. Be sure to head over to StarWarsCommonwealth.com to find more podcasts in the Star Wars Commonwealth Podcast Network, including Talk Star Wars, Tumbling Saber, Generation X-Wing, Rogue Squadron Podcast, Skyrim Podcast, and San Diego Sabers. Follow the Star Wars Commonwealth on Twitter at SW Commonwealth and take your first steps into a larger world.